Hey guys, how you doing? Minasan konnichiwa, my name is Susan. Welcome to my channel. Today I'll be reacting to Vinland Saga Season 2 Episode 8. And I'm super excited. In the previous episode we had a big focus on Ketil, the master of the land where Thorfinn is working at. And he was apparently being called the Iron Fist Ketil. He's also supposed to be a legend from the older days where he achieved a lot on the battlefield. And later on it was revealed by Ketil himself that that's all basically a lie. Like, I don't know to what extent it's all true or fake, but yeah, he said that he wasn't as grand or strong like people made him to be. And the interesting thing is that he says all those things to his slave Arnheid, like she's like his personal attendant, I would say, but it feels like he's closer to her than to his own wife. You know, he shares all of his feelings with her, maybe because she's a slave and she kind of knows those similar feelings and emotions, you know. So that was very interesting to see, and you could see that makes him a good man, you know. Also the way that he dealt with those two kids that stole from his own farm. Like, he didn't want to hurt them, but they still had to receive some kind of punishment. So the older boy, I forgot the name at the moment, but he received a beating, which was pretty brutal, but that's out of the way. He can recover, and then after that they can both just work on Ketil's lands and pay off their debts and just live a good life, you know. So overall it was a pretty interesting episode, and we see that they're like different sides of people, you know. We see this big comparison between someone like Ketil and his son Torgil, right? So yeah, let's just see how it's gonna go. I'm excited to watch this episode, so without further ado, let's right into it. Let's go. Alright, I'm ready, so I'm gonna start the episode in 3, 2, 1, go. I'm sorry, by the way, for the background noises. It's just so hot in my room and I really needed the fan. Otherwise I would die from the heat. What are we watching right now? What is this? Is this another dream? Oh yeah, it must be another dream. So we see the current Thorfinn dreaming about his older self. Oh. Oh. And the dream still continues? Oof. Trying to climb out of that cliff, I would say. Ooh. Ah! The symbolism though. So he's still having nightmares. It probably still happens occasionally. Yeah, probably happens often. Like, based on Aina's reaction, he's like, oh, it happened again. I have a feeling that it's after his like little battle with Snake, you know? He sensed something that might have triggered all these past memories to resurface, you know? Like he sensed something in Snake that reminded him of Ashlot. So maybe that's making him dream all of these things again. And I'm trying to think of what his dream symbolizes, you know, what it means. I was thinking like he's falling and he's dragged into the darkness by maybe the people that he killed in his past, you know? Like he's dragged into that darkness and he's trying to climb out of it. Like he's trying to find a new purpose in life. But he's still not sure of where to go to, you know? He tries to climb out of it, but he's still like on his way, like he's not out there yet. It's still like his past is haunting him, like trying to drag him down. That's kind of what I feel, or how I interpret that dream, you know. It could mean something totally different, you know, but that's just my like personal interpretation. Empty man. Okay. I feel like I've forgotten something really important. He wants to forget. Okay, back to work. It must still be tough. They can still use a horse though, but it's still hard work. I mean, why did the guy look so angry and pissed? Like, it's good for all of them, right? If okay. Oh. So he thinks that they're being treated too kindly because they're slaves. Oh, he's sharing the story. For 11 years. No. I like that Thorfinn is now just okay with sharing things from his past, you know? That's how much he probably trusts Einar with his story. Yeah, maybe Thorfinn also wants someone else to help him in figuring out what it is that he's missing in his memories, you know? What he's forgetting. Yeah, even Einar knows.
もうお前の敵討ちは終わったんだ。それに死んだ人間を憎んだって始まらないぞ。そうだ。
Yeah. Become a true warrior. Yeah. Even looking at these flashbacks, you know, there's so much blood everywhere. Like the situation where he's right now is like so different, and he just says like, "I can't hate him. That's the problem." Oh wait, what did he say? I can't not hate him. It's already a big step that he realizes himself, you know? Was he listening? Okay, he's teaching them how to fish. Okay, okay.
うまく広がらない。しっかりせえ。今は復活祭じゃから肉は食えんのじゃ。この年寄りに麦しか食わせん。
What does land mean? What? It's a beautiful sunset. He was listening. Oh, but those are some really nice words. No answer. But that's true. If you're empty, like you can still put in whatever, you know? think Thorfinn already changed a lot, you know? He's even wondering, like, can people change? But from my point of view, he has already changed a lot. Those guys, right? Yeah. Right. If Aina knew how Thorfinn was or used to be in the past. Oh. That's true. Okay. I think those are really reassuring thoughts. But he's still seeing like Ashlat's shadows. Or like traces from Ashlat. Thank you. He says it so naturally now. What? They ruined their whole field! Oh, now I want to fight. The wheat that they worked so hard for. Now I'm mad. I want to fight those guys. It was the wheat that made Thorfinn all excited and learn more about farming. That just straight up bullying. Like, why would you do that? Yeah. They dig up the roots. I mean, he's pissed. And it's all reducing their harvest, you know? He used to be the one who was on the destroying side, you know? No. Yeah. is crazy. And while the others just did that stupid, shitty act, they're having these meaningful conversations, you know, that's leading them to grow as people as well. Yeah, he's been through that. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Like, it doesn't benefit them in any way. Like, all of the wheat that could have led to a lot of food, you know, a great harvest, it also affects them, you know? It also reduces their food. So this is just stupid. Oh. He's talking about Arne. Oh. He's talking about how she would get their freedom. Oh. Right. Are those the retainers? Yeah, right. Oof. Of course, he would deny it. Damn! Woo! Oh! Thorfinn's the one who punched him! Damn, Thorfinn! Oh, crap, oops. Now they all want to fight. Okay. Now they're just fighting. The coming back. That woman. His father? Is he starting to remember? Oh, he's falling into that darkness again. Just like in his dream. Oh, and that's where they ended. This episode was again so good. Just the focus is back on Thorfinn again. His self-reflection, his personal growth, him trying to overcome his past, find meaning in his life. That's just my favorite themes of this entire show, you know? It might be boring for some people, but I personally really like this. I really enjoy this. It's just so good. And it kind of shows that everything that happened in season 1, like many events that we've seen in season 1, they all had meaning, you know. Like the fact that they even showed again that woman from season 1 that helped him, you know. And back then when I saw that woman in season 1, I thought like her death carried a lot of meaning, you know. And we see that again here. And to be honest, I still don't know what it fully meant, her death. I kinda saw it back then when I first watched the show. I kinda saw it as Thorfinn killing like that last bit of love that he felt, you know, the motherly love that was given to him. He shut that all off, like he all pushed that away. I thought that was kind of like what it symbolized back then. After that was like the final bit of empathy or love that Thorfinn still had within him, you know. After that, he just became empty. So that was like the last drop of something that he had in him that he had lost, which made him become this empty shell that was only focused on revenge, you know. And now he's trying to remember what it is that he's not supposed to forget. Like it's something that he wants to forget, but at the same time he knows or feels like it's something that he's not supposed to forget. And slowly we're seeing all these flashbacks of people from his past, like his father, Ashla, that woman. You know, they're all coming back to him. And those are all people that had a lot of influence over Thorfinn and his development, you know. So that's very interesting. Very interesting. So yeah, that was episode 8, another amazing episode. Like even if I usually don't really like slow-paced shows, if it has like meaning to it, if even the slower pacing has meaning to it, it becomes even better for me, you know. Like there wasn't much going on. It was a lot of dialogue. It was a lot of Thorfinn just going through his past memories, trying to remember what he's forgetting, remembering that one thing that he just cannot come up with, something that he wants to remember but not remember at the same time. And what's nice about it is that he's sharing this process with Einar. Like now he has someone that he can share it with, who is willing to give his thoughts as well and trying to guide Thorfinn in this process as well, you know. Like it is nice to see, because we see that Thorfinn now has someone that he can rely on, who can help him with finding whatever that he's looking for, you know, and that he trusts well enough to share his story with. So you know, when he also started talking about Ashlad, about him following Ashlad onto the battlefield for like 10, 11 years, about his revenge, you know. Like, he was sharing all of that with Einar, and even Einar was a bit taken back at first, like, oh, he's sharing something very personal with me. But I think he really appreciated that. And Einar also gave Thorfinn his like honest opinions and thoughts. Like, he's like, no, I cannot help you with finding whatever that you're looking for. That's something that you have to do on your own. Like, also overcoming your past is not something that can be done by just telling someone to, you know. It takes a lot of time usually. And Einar understands that, but he still gives some advice. And I also really like that moment where they were on the beach, and the great master, the grand master, was teaching them how to fish, and he happened to overhear their conversation, and he also gave some advice to Thorfinn, you know, like, if you say that you're empty, you can just fill it up again, you know, and you can fill it up with whatever you want. It's harder to be reborn into a new person if you're already like super full, you know. You might be able to fill it up, but there's this like still a lot of content, like substance left within that has to be replaced first. So in that way, like what the Grand Master said just made a lot of sense, and I think those were very, very conforming words to Thorfinn as well. He's like, okay, so it might be alright to be empty or feel empty right now, you know. There's no rush into filling himself up, you know. He can just fill it up bits by bits with new memories, new thoughts, new experiences. So he kind of felt better about his past. Like, he still hasn't fully overcome it, but that's again something that takes a lot of time. So that's why I just like this progress, because the slow pacing just makes sense, because it is something that takes a lot of time. So it wouldn't make sense if they went through this whole development like super fast. It wouldn't feel as real and genuine anymore. So that's why I like the pacing they take into this whole focus on Thorfinn's character development and personal growth, you know. And yeah, and then at the end they return to the farm to see it fully ravaged, completely destroyed. Oh my gosh, that moment made me so angry. I really wanted to punch one of those guys in the face as well. It was just a meaningless act, you know. It was just bullying, straight up bullying. Because, like I already said, like, the harvest is now destroyed. It also takes away the food that they could eat, you know. But then they were like, yeah, I wouldn't want to eat that anyways, because it was made by slaves. You know, those kind of stupid things. Like, that type of discrimination, it's just stupid. And Einar just couldn't contain himself. And the sad part about it is that Thorfinn, he was also feeling sad about it, but he felt like he wasn't allowed to feel sad about it, because he was also on their side before, right? Like, he was the one also destroying and taking things away from other people. Even worse, you know, he even took lives away. So he didn't feel like he had the right to feel mad and sad about it. So even though he probably felt sad about it, you know, but he felt bad about feeling sad. So that was just a sad situation overall. And Einar just couldn't contain himself. He was just so mad. Because he was also thinking about, they spent together on growing the weed, and the joy that he saw in Thorfinn, like the curiosity that it evoked. Einar witnessed it all, you know. So seeing how that got all destroyed in an instant, and they have to wait for another year for another harvest, and they have to borrow new seeds again and start all over again. It just, obviously that would make you mad. So it was very understandable. And then at the end, during the confrontation, the Thorfinn's punch was just so satisfying. And the funny part also after that, Thorfinn was like, oops, I punched him too hard unconsciously, you know. Oh, that was just so funny. And then it just straight up led to a fight, and Thorfinn falling into the darkness again. Interesting. I wonder, maybe he just lost his consciousness. I don't know. let's just see how it's gonna go. But overall, I really enjoyed this episode. It was such a good episode. So that was my reaction to this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. So if you did, please give this video a thumbs up. And if you could see my other reaction videos, please check out my channel and subscribe. So in any case, thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.